All right, looks like we're live. Hello, hello. Nice to see everybody. Getting a few things pulled up over on my side. Okay. Get my own broadcast up so we can watch chat. Okay. All right. Oh, we got a viewer. Welcome, welcome. Just getting everything up and running. We're going to be hopping on a chat soon with everybody. Let's see if the game is up. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Hopefully everybody is enjoying my new Sunday ritual as much as I am, is watching Old World Tournament. As you can tell, I'm clearly bitten by the bug. We have here all the current games they got going. I currently got 6, so that means 2 spots are open in the dance card in case anybody wants to throw out a challenge. Always let me know. I'm always down for a cloud game. But we are trying to join an online game. Let's see if it's up. Not seeing it yet. Oro versus Class Koala. Very interesting. Can't wait to watch that game later. Oro has been a dark horse in this tournament, and I can obviously vouch for Class, coming hand-to-hand with him in an early knife fight against Carthage. He was the first person I've seen do the steel beeline for the Carthaginian play, which I believe is currently, in my opinion, the strongest meta for it. For the unfamiliar, going for steel gives you access to a whole bunch of very nice free cards, free Byrene, but also for the Carthaginian player, it'll give you a free war elephant or your free African elephant. Phenomenal overall pickup. It's going to give you the basis to handle any spears that are coming out to kill your horse tribesmen, and just a good secondary follow-up punch with a routing unit with that kill for a polearm. Plus you can have either cav or range from your tribal units, so you just get a very early, very nicely diversified military force to hit like so early. And with Carthaginian order like combos, that's also really good. Riders, that's an extra 2. Riders is gonna be an extra 2 orders, and then on top of that you have statesmen, which are able to pump out orders, 1 per city, with the additional what's it called, decree mission. Always a nice thing to have in the back pocket. And on top of that, schemer, you got all the orders you need for an early push. All right. Seeing if someone can get the game up for us so we can take a peek and follow up on where we last left off. Welcome everybody. Got 3 people over in the chat. Always feel free to shout out some questions. We might have some time here before we get the game started. Looks like we're looking at a current 15-minute delay. So if you guys want to pop over and catch the Oro class game that is currently going on Scientific's channel, no harm, no foul. Honestly, we'll definitely be watching that game myself later on today. Want to add you to chat so you can coordinate with them easily. Yes, thank you very much. Alcaraz. Shoutouts as always to Alcaraz, our wonderful community organizer who has now kept this game, this tournament going 2 years running, or I believe only 2 years running. I apologize if it's been more, but it is, I mean, it is so much fun. I wish I knew about it last year. I mean, I've been playing this game for years, but if you guys aren't already, if you're catching the channel, if you're catching the video, please join us on the Old World Discord server. It is so great to have an opportunity to talk to some of the individuals you'll see in a lot of this gameplay. And they're all there. You know, Class mixes it up in a whole bunch of the topics. Nora, Aro, Nazar. I mean, everybody. You can catch a game with any of the big names you're seeing right now, especially the big names that you're seeing right now, because they're all practicing to try to either maintain their life here in the tournament, down from the losers bracket, myself included, or they are still wrangling onto 2 lives and plowing through the top end of the bracket. Always curious for the people watching. Does anybody have any current favorites from the tournament? Who do you think is strong? All right. Well, if we got time, I'm going to take a quick little stab. Oh, that's an ad coming up. Fuck that. All right. Well, hopefully you guys all skip through that ad. My apologies. Ugh. Just seeing through that, I am still getting used to the whole streaming mindset. I have turned monetization off for this video, so you guys don't have to deal with the ads coming on through, especially if you're joining us live. So always feel free to stick around. Oh boy. All right. Might as well post onto Reddit while I'm waiting. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Well, if we got a minute, I got gameplay that I want to go through. So, sorry, anybody watching this, and if you are Moreton, avert your eyes, my friend. Oh! Well, again, welcome everybody. We got a little bit of time, so I hope you don't mind. I'll be playing some of my individual turns, different strategies that I'm working on. Let's see, what's this one? This is Rome. Rome. So I'm doing a classic Bull Moose Land Con rush on Rome. So many nice little groves around here. So definitely we'll be picking those all up. That's all currently online. Gotta get myself the free routing unit. One of the best parts about rushing Land Con is this free card. So by turn 31, I'll have a free horseman, which will be pretty nice. Science is about to explode. We have similar. No, we're even stronger than them. And our science is about to kick off to another level. So you gotta love a good educated scholar. Very powerful. And we'll take the extra science. Shave another 3 turns off that. My mistake. A 28-turn horseman. Alright. Plenty of mobility. No worker movements. Let's go ahead and move to the front. Are we at war with the Gauls? We are not. We got probably another 5 years before they raid, so we'll move our forces out this way. And now we have this nice little puddle jump, so we don't have to work through this crappy desert here. Have to expand all the way along here, plus we want these 2 groves, so we're already trying to grab this. And in Roma. Could go Inquiry. It's not a bad amount of science. 15 years for 80. Don't hate that. Could go for another worker. We're ahead on military. There's a lot of things to improve. A lot of mines to get online. Yeah. Let's grab another worker. That sounds good. A lot of workers coming online. My economy is about to explode. I probably don't need another worker then. We already have 4 more coming. Yeah, why not? Inquiry. That's fine. That's what? A little bit more than 5 science a turn. Solid increase. Maybe rush it out. Hello, hello. Oh, hello, Rincewind. Welcome, friend. Well, welcome everybody again. We're just going through some of my online games. We got a little bit of delay here, so please jump out if you have any questions. Tell me any favorites that you currently have over in the tournament. Let me know what you're working on, and if you are watching a game that I'm currently playing against you, well, you know, keep it to your damn self. All right. 2 spots to go to. Again, another Rome game. What are we doing here? This is against who? This is my class. Yeah, this is my class game. Okay, so if we're going up against Carthage, then we want as much of a bang as we can. So we need to be doing some expansion, and we need to be making some units. This city will be connected, so I think the idea is to drop a landowners here. Could be helpful. Yeah. Okay, let's drop a landowners here. Grab another settler. And I think another settler. Just try to grab 4 cities really fast before we have to deal with Carthage. How much does it cost? 300. We could sell everything. Yeah, to get this train going, I need 300. Do I have undo available here? I do. All right. Is that enough? Yeah. Okay. Quadruple settler. We'll get 4 sites in 7 turns. Try to build up from there. Have to be a little greedy playing against Carthage. You can't let them out-expand you by too much. All right, so there's our 4th city. All right, cool. My money is on Ninja and Aaron for the final. If Ninja gets past the Moose, of course. Ninja's a good player. Ninja's a good player. We played a couple of games. I beat him in a knife fight on Greece. He beat me in a chariot rush, also against my Rome. So we've been going back and forth. That should be a good game. I hope to entertain you guys. Do I have a game going with Ninja right now? Sorry, I'm flying through this. I'm just trying to read the chat. Oh, this is my secret weapon. Not sure if I want to show this on stream, but whatever. This is my Grease, having a lot of fun with this. It's turn 62, and we already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phalangites. So it's pretty good. I'm a big fan. All right. Let's take a peek on this one. This is my Alcaraz game. I'm taking this one pretty seriously. We got peace with the Scythians. He's at war with them, I believe, still. Yeah, so hopefully they keep raiding on our side. We want to keep crawling through this southern area. He has a ballista somewhere. There it is. Okay. It can only move here. It does not a lot in the woods, but 7 damage out in the open. Warriors are only dinging for 2. Archers are plinking. Oh, wow, only for another 2. Okay, so we're in good shape still. Just need to take it nice and slow on the creep in. We have more phalangites coming. Oh, it's actually faster for him to go this way. We only have the 1 strong city, though. We haven't upgraded this because our judge died. Okay. How long was the tourney been going on for? It's been going on for a while. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. You know, let's save this. Looks like the game is actually about to start up. How long's the tourney been going on for? Geez, it's been going on a few months now. So we're getting like a pretty solid like season out of all of this, which is kind of cool. I mean, you've been seeing like content drop like daily. New tournament games been going on for. If you, I'll link to it. Actually, yeah, let me grab the link for this. Network, join online. Let's see. Oh, we got a sleepy boy, Blajj. Poor boy didn't get a lot of sleep. I feel his pain, but that is the woes of trying to do things as an adult in your 30s. All right. Is the game up, my gentlemen? Not him. All right. Not that I can see. All right. Still waiting on class to get the game going. No. Morton did his turn. I love that little notification bot. I'm not sure if like Solver himself was the one who built it. He's the one that like is the tech support for it half the time. But huge appreciation again to the Mohawk staff for all the things they're doing to facilitate the multiplayer scene for their game. Putting together the bot that you're able to go into on the Discord server so you get notifications through Discord whenever your turn is up is phenomenal. Like I just got a ding to let me know that my Morton game's up, which is really cool. So, yeah, you can have just games like going like this, nice and passively in the background. It's kind of like having like 6 chess games going, so it's a little bit of a stretch of the imagination, but it's fun. Gooser 3000, curiosity, man. How long have you been playing Old World yourself? All right, let's take a peek. Okay, I think the game's up. Sweet. Cliff game. All right. So I got the opportunity to stream this last one. For those of you that didn't have the opportunity to watch that particular vid, welcome. We are in game 3 of this game versus Cliff versus Blajj. Two very powerful players in their own right, doing some severely greedy things in this match. Let's go ahead and take a look at where we stand as we're getting into it. Military score has been favoring the Kush player for a large portion of the game, but very recently, Babylon has taken its foot off the gas towards scientific investment and has instead exploded their overall military score. To show you the inverse of that, Kush has actually been taken very heavily towards a scientific game and pivoted away from military production to then take advantage of science. So this little like back and forth, this seesaw action that'll be happening in a lot of the games that you'll see, really comes down and opens up certain windows of opportunity for our players. For instance, if we take a look over at the Babylon player, we can see that they are in a very powerful position. We have 1, 2 8 strength units already out on the field with the opportunity to upgrade 2 more. But unfortunately, they are very far from the only citadel that the player has available. We do have Heliopolis about to kick off along with Acropolis. Both are very major order-giving wonders, so that's going to be definitely telegraphing an overall punch. But I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see any aggression out of the Babylonian player until after Heliopolis is done. It gets very tempting to wait for these power spikes to come on through, and honestly, maybe they should. Current order situation over on the Babylonian player is going to be 36, and that actually increases to 46 if all workers were to stop construction. On the flip side, that 46 number is up against a whopping, 59 plus 21, so a total of 80 orders, double the orders of the Babylonian player. So while the forces may not be as strong, we are only looking at slingers and axes over here, but we have a lot of production lines, we have a lot of opportunity to keep pumping out the less than ideal units. But Medjay archers are no slouch, fighting at, what is it, 20%? Yeah, 20% additional combat attack strength when they are next to each other. So they'll be able to pack a punch, even though they won't be able to really tank too many. We have onagers over here, a couple of line of them coming out. Players discussing a little bit of the action and getting back into the game. When you are shaking off the cobwebs, makes perfect sense. Is very gentlemanlike to not turn on the timer for your first turn. It's just good manners in my opinion. There's a lot going on in a game of Old World, keeping track of every little facet that you're doing, especially when there is no undo, when there is a timer pressure. Getting yourself reacquainted with your nation is always a good way to start off the match. What are we producing over on the Babylon side? We have a little bit of a mix. We have some military, ballistas, biremes, and spears. Interesting to see if there might be a little bit of a push for naval action here. We'd like to see a second boat coming out of here as opposed to additional science. You have plenty of science. Windlass is right around the corner, so you're going to have access to yet another 8 strength unit type. That is going to be able to upgrade... Not a lot. I'm seeing 1 slinger, 2 slingers, 3 on the horizon, 4 on the horizon. So that'll be 4 crossbows. 4 crossbows in 7 turns. Okay. Not the best, not the worst as far as timing pushes are concerned. We do have plenty of civics. We have professional army or volunteers to get. Law set up here. I don't know how I feel about exploration. There aren't a lot of rivers here, and certainly not in the battlefield. I suppose moving laterally up and down here, you'll be faster. But especially if you're worried about culture, which I guess we're not in here. If you had weak cities out on your frontier, Epics is very nice as a way to get them up to developing culture so they can rush units out and keep the pressure on right from the front lines. Always something I would advocate keeping an eye out on. But we're already at development culture on these border cities. Maybe not with this one, so it might still have a use case. Do we have a settler coming out here? Not seeing anyone nearby. But once the city comes on down, it would be a good idea to get out. But as it currently stands, I would say that Babylon has a window, but like we stated before, that window is doing okay as far as military powers goes, as far as family opinion goes, but it is not going to really help you when the other person has twice as many orders to move their troops around. I would like to see some consolidation at the very least of the forces of Babylon, but again, they are a little bit more order constrained. That's about to be majorly alleviated, but even with Heliopolis coming on down the pipeline, which is going to give you +1 order per shrine all over your nation, we don't have a lot of shrines. We don't have a lot of shrines. We have 7 idle workers. We're building granaries and farms. We are more farms. More farms. Finishing groves. Yeah, so just not seeing the infrastructure investment going down here. I would like to be seeing a shrine built in every single city as quickly as you can. I mean, at the very least, it's nice to grab Heliopolis just to deny it from the Kush player, but you still want to actually use it. So I'll be hoping to see that infrastructure coming out, but because we aren't, again, I don't think we're going to see aggression out of the Babylon player. That's going to allow some catch-up potential here over on the side. And what we're looking at military-wise, we're looking at a mix of siege, range, a couple of spears, but not really too many where you have to be worried. We only have, what, 4 here on the front lines? Yeah, so it's going to be siege and infantry, which to me says horses all day. You get a couple of axes to kill these spears on the side of Kush, which we already have plenty of. And on top of that, you just go for a full cav, and you'll be able to run them down. We do have chariots coming in. We've seen in several matches that the tier 1 chariot routing unit, even though it's only 5 strength, the amount of damage that it gets as a mounted unit against a siege unit is just phenomenal. So when you're going for specifically those style of kills, going for routes on chains of onagers in a back line, some suicide missile chariots are a phenomenal tool to have in your pocket. And when you double that by having both onagers and ballista on the enemy's military force, well, they get better and better. We have also a horseman up here, a second horseman up here, so we love to see that. They have to both be from 2 events. Yeah, this is an event one. This maybe is a free card, but we definitely don't have the stirrups tech unlocked. But we have clicked it, and we have clicked martial code. And if you click both those things, you got to imagine that barding's coming immediately after that. And with the science that we are currently putting out, nearly 200 a turn, that would be 3 turns, 5 turns, 8 turns. So 16 total turns to get all the way up to barding. We could see our first barding game right here by turn 106 if everything goes right. Call it 109 if all the techs line up correctly. So Kush is definitely going to be in a strong position if they get their hands on more of these mounted units. Mounted units and axes are just going to kind of crush the current military mix that Babylon has. Crossbows will help. But crossbows is an interesting choice because what they do is they have access to anti-melee, which is 50% attack strength only against melee. So they still take damage, but they blast melee units away. But the unique unit that you see coming out of Kush is ranged. And typically the 8 strength unit that you're going to see your opponent get first is the 8 strength unit that you're going to see your opponent get first is their unique unit. So you should be building your path to beat them. It's either your tech path or your unique unit should win that rock, paper, scissors match against the opponent's unique unit, because you have to imagine that because how powerful laws are in multiplayer, because they're going to be giving you movement and resources and more orders or more build production or orders. Considering how that's such an important aspect towards the military mix, you have to expect that they will also be trying to take advantage of the unit that comes from rushing down all that order economy. So I'm not a fan of how Cliff is currently building his science. I have to imagine that the idea is past Windless and going towards Polybolos, which there is going to be nothing better to chew down that unique unit. So perhaps perhaps this is to handle those axes that, will be a bit of a problem. They also stand up pretty nicely against routing units because, again, anti-melee, so they're able to at least come in with a major smack. So I suppose I don't hate this. Windless and Polybolos make for a very interesting military mix. I'd like to see if that is the case because of how susceptible they will be to routes. I would love to see some more spears hitting the map, just to firm up your edges, just to guard your lines. You have 4. They're decently upgraded. Focus is not the best, especially just focus 1. Besieger, Bloodthirsty, and Fierce is pretty disgusting. Have an option to grab Fierce here, which is pretty good. But you got to back these units up. You don't want to get poked out here, just lose a spear for nothing. Taking a look over at the scouting side, we have some nice vision being grabbed by the Babylonian player as far as agents are placed inside these cities. I do like what I'm seeing there. Got some nice idea of the production that is coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4 agents. I like that a lot. They have access to more agents. A lot of science is actually locked behind here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 Babylonian schemers ready to go. And you have the places to put them. So that would be 4.5 science. You already have an agent here for 2 science. This would be another half a science, so not great. Same here. So yeah, I would be saving your agents, but grabbing a 4 spot right here, or even a 3 spot, to save this spy for further in is definitely worth it. But this lady isn't going to live around forever. Your wife is already 50 years old. So I would definitely say, yeah, drop at least some of these guys in here. There's no reason not to pick up a law's worth of science. Gooser 3000, I've got it. I've only played a couple of games total. I played a lot of Civ-style games. So welcome to Old World. This is my personal favorite iteration of the 4X genre. Soren Johnson, lead developer over on the best version of Civilization, Civ 4, came out and made this game. And you can tell it's a labor of love out of Mohawk Studios. It's a very nice game. The community is great. The staff is amazing. How much attention they pay to the update system is amazing. So it is by far the best gaming experience I've had, full stop. So yeah, cannot more highly advocate anybody who's interested in the 4X genre to come over and try the game out for themselves. You really will not be disappointed. So happy to have you, Gooser. Everybody else, feel free to ask any questions that you want. More than happy to answer. We are still paused. I gotta wonder at this point, the guys have got to be up to speed. Who's still working on orders? We have 57 orders coming over. Are we not turning the timer on at all? Interesting. All right, we aren't seeing much additional scientific development inside of the city. We have barracks and strongholds coming down pretty much all over. We're building a whole bunch of mines. You got to imagine it's going to be for the horses. Yep, more farms coming down. So, yep, we're definitely focused on cavalry as far as a standpoint of econ is concerned. Strongholds, shrines, a lot more training coming all over the empire here. More orders coming down. Kush doing an amazing job. Honestly, being a very scary showing of exactly how powerful this extra order econ is on the is on the Kushite side. They're really able to just skew up the power basis of their entire empire if they go wide enough, because that is almost a full order per every single for every single city, and that gets, even more civics when it's next to a pyramid. It's pretty disgusting, actually. Is this a special tournament map? So all the maps for each match are randomized. Those are going to be coming through the classic software, but you have the choices of 3 different styles, or that's the typical allowance. I suppose if 2 players agree that they want to play a different style of map, that of course may be allowed, but the cookie cutter maps that are brought here are to be either a tiny sized or a dual sized. Dual being smaller, made for 2 players, tiny recommended for 3, so it's going to give you a little bit more space. This is a tiny map. You can also go wide, square, wide, or extra wide. Square being obvious, wide taking the same amount of overall hexes, reducing the height of it, but giving you more space between the 2 players while not increasing the total amount of sites that'll be present on the map. And then ultra wide is essentially making it a hallway, where you start on one end, they start on the other end, you guys race towards the center, get funneled into each other, and clash. We are currently looking at that. We are looking at an ultra wide tiny, so the largest map that you can get. And of the 3 map types, we have coastal rain basin. So that is going to be your mountain range, your wide open areas, some couple of choke points through mountains, and this long, narrow ocean here at the bottom of the map. It's always going to be the same parameters on coastal rain basin. You can expect to have this. The other maps that are available are inland sea, where you have a border of land going all around and a sea inland. Makes for some good naval fights. Has been a very popular map over here. Adding that extra aspect to the game is certainly something you can do. So if you are a strong naval player and you think your opponent is not, or maybe hasn't practiced it as much, then inland sea is definitely your choice of map. And then there's the knife fight, which is continent. That is the smallest map available. It is a continent surrounded by water on all sides. Still has some of the narrow passage naval play that CRB does, but it has it on both sides of the map. So it kind of, you have to do some scouting, figure out where you want to put your ships, figure out what side you want to send them around. Do you want to control the north or the south? What happens if you cede control of one side? Yada yada. It's my personal favorite map type. It typically lends itself to tiny, quick, brutal fights. So I can highly advocate for it. And yeah, we've been seeing a lot of different picks. Happy to see an Archer matchup. A Babylon versus Kush game is very refreshing, considering the Carthage meta that has developed as of lately. Carthage has become very popular. It is a tricky one to break on a smaller map. I'm trying to work on it myself. I still think either Rome or Axum have an excellent shot at it, but it is not by any means a guarantee. I haven't found what's be considered a counter to Carthage yet, so a lot of players have been enticed by that opportunity to have a counterless first pick. So we've been seeing a lot of Carthage gameplay, followed up by a lot of Rome gameplay, because Rome typically is able to handle themselves best against Carthage so far. So with hydraulics coming online, we're going to be vastly able to increase the economy here of Kush. Kush has some excellent production numbers, producing everything they want. Plenty of food to be coming in to keep those onagers coming, those chariots coming out, stone for the onagers coming out, and wood for the Blajj archers coming out. Doesn't give us a lot in the way of iron, but we are only building spears, so we don't need too much, only 50 to throw. So we have axemen, which are going to be a little bit more expensive at 100 to throw. Frankly, I think I would rather see spearmen here to protect his own units against routing, because he's just as vulnerable. So I would like to see more spears over axemen. The opponent doesn't have enough spears for you to be that worried about them. But suppose if you do plan on heavily relying on horsemen, maybe axes are wise. But that's the classic thing of Old World. You know, what is the right decision? What is the right military mix? How do you determine that? And I can't more highly advocate for scouting. Love to see a game where both players have the portcullis tech, have had the portcullis tech for a while, and we've been seeing a lot of them get all this nice vision. We'd like to see more of that coming out of Kush. They have certainly the orders to do it. You could spend, 8 orders a turn moving around your scouts just trying to get more out of them. This one's on cooldown? No, yeah, you can keep going. I like to see it get spread out. You want to see what's in this southern flank. I have to imagine that this has been revealed on the map. Yeah, so they haven't scouted much. They don't know much of the Babylonian Empire. They know one city is here, so I'd like to see more focus on vision being here. To see what's on the front lines, because you have this unlocked. You see all of these units. You know what's powerful up here, but this city's closer. You should want to drop at least an agent network in the 2 frontmost cities so you can see where your opponent is staging themselves, and then try to drop more spies into the deep, deep back so you're able to get into their science infrastructure and be able to leech off of them as much as you can. Speaking of science, it is something I'm constantly worried about in this game. We do see the Babylon player has had the lead now for almost a decade. They are currently close to 50 ahead, 42 ahead. But they aren't increasing their science much more. Neither is the Babylonian player. So with, let's call it 50 to make the math easy. Babylon is still 1,800 ahead in overall invested science this game. 1,800 is a complete tier 6 tech. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's a full 6 tech. So you have like a free barding cohort. It's one of these online comparatively to your opponent. So yes, like to see the late game catch up. Very impressed by Blajj's ability to ramp up through specifically religion. Let's take a look at their religion. We got Zoro. That's going to be Gnosticism. So for Temple, +1 per Urban Specialist, which I believe would be equivalent science to what he would get out of Centralization or Constitution. So that's going to be 7 science. Although I think this is a little bit off. That doesn't sound right. That he only has 7 specialists? That can't be right. Yeah, I have a hard time imagining only 7 of these are... Well, let's see. No, Apprentice Acolytes, there's 12. So that doesn't make any damn sense. So there's definitely more science coming out of Gnosticism. I wish that the tooltip would make that a little bit more clear. Oh, maybe because we're currently looking at the Babylon player. That would make a lot of sense. So now looking at the Kush player, we'd be able to see that's giving 10. Still doesn't seem right. Yeah, per Urban Specialist, we have 12. I mean, this is being reduced, obviously, by discontent, but even still, it should be higher than this, I imagine. On top of that, you have Dualism, which is going to give you +1 science per religion that you have in the area, which is a huge amount of science. Also, wouldn't be surprised if this was being underestimated by the total science coming on in. But just some nice overall scientific numbers. Great catch-up game. Very good potential. But the question is it too late? Does the opponent already have enough of an advantage on you? And they did. They did. There was a wide window for Cliff to go out and make some aggression, but instead decided to make focuses on infrastructure, get these cities up to developing culture, something that he's doing a lot better of on the frontline development than the Kush player is. These 3 cities are going to be further away. They will be able to produce units. Range units coming out of here will also have the access to the Sentinel bonus for protecting national territory if push comes to shove, but that's not going to help him if he needs to develop, make units out of here in 6 years, not able to rush them. This last line of like quick burst defense only works if you're able to get the culture up. What I would recommend here for him is maybe taking up epics if a skirmish breaks out. That would help you pick up a lot. And again, you're not really getting a lot from the internal movement here. This one little path is going to be nice for the exploration movement, but you can just get like 1 hamlet here, and that would grab this gems, this, and collapse these borders to connect this river. So it'd all be inside your territory already, giving you the movement bonus. Also, would like to see maybe some water access here to make this faster along this area for transport, but you don't really need exploration, is my point. So if war breaks out and you are trying to get these guys up to developing culture, switch on epics. You could also see him crush luxuries. Not seeing a lot, but we do have 1 salt here. So you could throw a shrine on top of the salt. That'd be a 50. So for those who are unaware, if you drop an urban improvement on top of any visible resource, it's going to give you, I believe, 5 times what 1 harvest would. So 1 harvest would give you 10 culture. So if you throw an urban tile on top of this and destroy this resource permanently, it'll give you 50 culture boost, or halfway to developing culture, which is pretty sick. So if you're going for like a culture rush, if you're going for like a game like, hey, I want 5 strong cities as quickly as possible, I know I'm not going to ever research land consolidation, just destroy the Grove resources and use them as a massive culture boost, like one-time instant culture boost to get yourself that 50 culture immediately. It's a huge ramp. The consideration there is that it's going to give you, I think, 1 culture per turn inside your borders. Yeah. So while it's sitting here unimproved, it's going to give you 1 culture, or if this was a flower, it would also give you 1 culture. So essentially, you're over 50 turns, it's better to have this just hanging around. But assuming that your rush strategy is going to be taking less than 50 turns, or less than 50 turns from when you're destroying it, then it's better for you. It's going to be faster. And when you ramp up a city to developing culture quicker, it's going to be able to get up to strong quicker because it gets the next level of like Odeon buildings and the like in there, or the next level of ability to rush out new additional specialists to boost the culture in there. So there's a lot of things that compound. Definitely would recommend for those who aren't already using that particular building tactic to crush these with shrines, with hamlets, with monasteries are always the best way to go about it. Sometimes you get lucky and they're right by your urban improvements or your existing urban tiles in a city, but definitely would recommend that tidbit. Political situation inside of Kush is 2 parts good, 1 part dire. And fortunately, it's not even due to the fact that we have an angry oligarch with us or that the religion is deeply turned against us. Sub 90 isn't great, so we would actually love to get rid of this guy. Oh yeah, this guy would help phenomenally. You kill this guy, and that's going to be a 200 swing in your favor. So we have a Spy Master. We need to kill the Pope here. Yeah. You kill the Pope, his opinion, negative 20 modifier on your religion. So yeah, head of the religion has a minus 200. That's capped, by the way. It never goes above 200 in the positive or the negative. But that minus 200, it would bring you up to positive 110, and that would be a 200 swing here. So just killing this guy alone, even if you break neutral on the next guy in paganism that takes over, which, you know, could be a governor. Let's see, anybody particularly pious? Yeah, so this orator might get it. But yeah, I mean, you have too many landowner cities, likely. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 places rebellion could potentially break out right now. Yeah, you need to deal something with this. I would love to see some political shenanigans. What would that cost? It would be for an assassination attempt. Huh. Yeah, assassinate, okay. That would cost you 400 gold. I mean, you can sell something. You can sell something. Speaking of gold, let's try to figure out the economy situation here for the Kushite player. Blajj doing a great job of investing in his science, but that doesn't come without costs, and the upkeep here is going to be a major drag. Part of that upkeep reason is also going to be due to this landowner's family being pissed off. It's going to increase the overall upkeep on all the buildings inside of landowner seats. And if we take a look at some of these landowner seats, they are some of the most well urbanly developed cities in his country. So I would definitely like to see him kill this guy to save his economy, to save his family opinion, to deal with the rebellion. All would be swings in his favor. All it would take after that is 1 additional influence mission. We are trying to influence an oligarch. It is the right oligarch. Okay, great. But again, this guy's not the problem. This guy is. Happy to see greedy gameplay out of both of the players. We are getting past the halfway point in points. Would be interesting to see a game go to points. Turn 90 is definitely the part where you can probably start seeing those point scores massively increase, depending on how many opulence projects players are willing to take on. And with all the groves and both players having access to land consolidation, additional luxuries to get online through specialists to then feed into all the cities to then do opulence projects out of, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points. You throw 14 points on that, and you're looking a lot closer. You're looking at, yeah, you're down to 8 points more. So honestly, it could come down to points. It could very well come down to points. Do we have any additional wonders we're working on here? We have citadels, strongholds, no wonders. We've already taken both of our Temple of Solomon and our... I think we also got our... What's it called? Yeah. Adur Burzimir. Yeah. Alright. All that culture is certainly going to help you if this game does go to points, which, you know, now that I'm looking at it, it's not far off from going to points. If you build up enough of a military It's an easy thing to sneak out. You can, temper all of your scores so that way they don't all pop all at once, and you can just, watch this massively ramp. Yeah, there's definitely a points ability here for the players to go for. Interesting. I wonder how many one builder. Okay, so you're only shaving 1 turn off of your overall build times on those estates. We have a hero and another kid. No kids ourselves. Our heir is our no one. We have no heir. We are 29 years old. Plenty of time to get one. Getting a builder heir here. Are there any wonders left? Plenty of wonders left. Plenty of rock economy. We could see a points game here. Interesting. Would be the first one in the tournament. Welcome, welcome. Up to 14 watchers now. How's it going, everybody? 15 watchers now. Feel free to drop any questions in the chat. Keep me company. Always nice to be joined here over on Sunday afternoon or whatever time you're in. We're a global community. But Sunday, Old World Tournament stuff. Very happy to see it. All right. Just going on basic posturing. Would like to see some upgrades on these existing warriors here. You have plenty of stockpile of stuff. There's no reason for you to be saving it up. There's nothing that your orator is doing with it. Frankly, maybe seeing a rallying of the troops is just a way to use your civics turn over turn to boost your training, to then feed into all of your units here. Shout out to Hazard, who has been recently teaching me the power of the rally the troops mission. It's a very good late game, especially when you have a huge civics economy like this and a potential overflow. What could you be doing with your civics? It would be nice for you to get the religion head on your side. Yeah, I'd be focusing here, because Judaism got a good opinion of you, Zoro's got a good opinion of you. I would try to make nice with one of these leaders, maybe both of them. They are a diplomat. They could be your ambassador. Oh, but no, having an ambassador that's friendly with you and giving you plus 90 family opinion, yeah, you don't get rid of her. Especially it's your wife. Yeah. So, yeah, you hold on to her. That's phenomenal. Plus 90 family opinion. That's actually great. I'm surprised. Yeah, kill this dude. Still got to kill this dude, Blajj. But yeah, using one of these guys to convert these families away from Kushite paganism. So if you're not killing him, you're at least getting them all in line or get them all with one family. So yeah, I focused on Zoro. And because you already have one family with Zoro, you already have your best opinion with Zoro. Get this matriarch happy. She's young. She's only 35. You got plenty of runway out of her. Get her on your side. Make her your chancellor. Yeah, this person's no one. And their stats are, like, negligible. Like, I'd rather have this person in here. It's going to be a lot of training. You're going to lose a little bit of what? Growth? But who cares? You don't need growth. You're not building any growth units. You don't need extra population unless you're going for volunteers, which I guess you are? No, you're not. So, yeah, you don't even need volunteer growth. So, yeah, ditch this lady, throw this person in, influence them, do everything you can to cozy up, and then get everybody converted over to Judaism. That would be my plan. Especially in, like, staging times like this. Like, these quiet times, while you're gearing up, while there's nothing left to expand to, while you're just keeping an eye on your opponent, you want to be focusing on your scouting. You want to be focusing on your internal politics. You want to be focusing on your heir. You want to get people tutored up. You want to make sure that the nation is nice. You want to make sure the nation is prepared in case your dude kicks off. This is the time to prepare for the storm. You don't want to be caught in a political situation at another point. And you should be using all 3 of these guys. They should have a mission turn over turn. 6 orders, instant lock-in. What can we do here? Intercession of family. Oh, yeah. I mean, she's in love with you. Use this person to get... Let's see. I suppose this... Yeah, you can get this matriarch on your side. You can use your wife to influence the matriarch. And is there anybody... Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, assassinate this guy. Your queen, your pious queen, might end up as the head here. So it would be 400 swing in your favor. You go from someone who hates you to someone who loves you. And she's got a good chance. I'm pretty sure Orders have a better chance, maybe, but I know Pious gives you a better chance of becoming Religious Head. I think Cunning does too. And if either of these individuals, if any of 1, 2, 3, so you have a 3 out of 6 chance of the person that you, next person that becomes the Religious Head, yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal. Because even if it's this person or this person, you can still use your wife to intercede on them to get an extra plus 60 opinion. So that's a huge swing. And your Spy Master. It's an oligarch. His opinion of you is pretty good. He's given decent science. So we already have metaphysics all set. Yeah, so we have metaphysics, so we can convert to state religion. So we should be converting people to our state religion and the monarch to our state religion. That's what we should be doing turn over turn over turn. I mean, what else are you using these civics on? Just events? Stranger2921. Hey, Mr. Moose, are you going to do any new gameplay series in the near future of this wonderful game? Yes, sir. Yes, I am. I am currently working on a tall Greece game. We've been playing a lot of wide across everybody since my first game as Babylon under crappy recording conditions. So a new Greedy Greece gameplay is going to be dropping on probably early next week. I already have 4 episodes ready to go. So once it starts, the pipeline will go for a week straight. And it'll probably be a classic 10-episode series, so you got probably 2 weeks of content coming out shortly. After that, I think I have to stick to my promise and actually get back to educational videos, or I suppose start on educational videos, because I do want to have a nice library of that based off of before a new DLC gets announced. So that way any new interest that comes in that's peaked inside the community, they have a place to fall back on and learn the game before the new stuff comes out or drops, or people that get captured by the new game and new drops have a place to land. All right. All right, so we are holding court. Solid at this stage of the game. Potential 300 pickup on civics is wild. I forget that this increases with time. It must. Or maybe increases with your overall... Oh, no. I mean, his charisma's not that high. But holy crap, look at the stats on this guy. Oh, my God. What? I don't think I've seen anything this high, and he's not even a rising star? Oh, my Lord. 6 wisdom, 3 charisma, 6 courage, and 7 discipline? That is insane. How the hell did you get this dude? 51 years of age, you better hope he sticks around for a while. Inspiring on top of all of that has got to be a huge, nice little boost. Bold and Humble is going to help you out with those overall stat increases, making up for 4 of them. But my God, what is that? That is a 9, 15, 22? A 22 out of 10? Not bad. Compare that to here. No slouch either. I'd be very happy with this guy, frankly. Warlike, Heckler, and Educated for 2 wisdom, 7 charisma, 1 courage, and -2 discipline. The -2 discipline isn't helping the economy. And yeah, stark difference on the economy over on this side. I wouldn't be surprised, due to the amount of civics that we have coming in, the fact that we aren't grabbing professional army turn over turn. I wouldn't be surprised if we were saving up our civics for just more wonder pushing. I would like to see wonders, I suppose, being dropped in maybe other cities. Do we have strong wonders? Colossus and Kothon. Kothon here could be cool. Or maybe here could be cool. Just to get more ships. A Kothon would almost guarantee naval supremacy inside of this very narrow Atlantic Ocean. Could be a really funny pickup. If this game goes late, which it's looking like it will, both players aren't in any position or aren't in any particular posture to symbolize that they're going to be looking out for an attack anytime soon. So yeah, a Kothon here to build up naval supremacy and push out would certainly help the order economy on the Babylon player. They could dig in here along this riverbed in the woods. They can throw in some forts here, hold this spot away from the city, and then if this spot falls, be able to retreat to the city. City is based far enough back where even 1, 2, 3, 4, so onagers would not be able to sit in the woods. They'd have to come out into the open. So actually, yeah, that's exactly what I'd do. I'd have a forward, I'd settle here, maybe not even take the time to make a settler for here. Maybe just fortify this area. Let them come in, hold them off, push back as, like, you know, just a nice way to buy time and also draw them in further. Because if you just mix it up on this border, they either have to retreat and heal or follow you, where you might have more troops already ready to stage. Melee ones ready to fight in the woods when they retreat in, start with range to cure across the river, fall back behind melee, push out if people follow in across the river. Could be really fun as far as defense is concerned. And then use your offense here with a Kothon. Don't need a Kothon, just need a couple more bireams to make up for that huge order economy difference, to drop 1, 2, 3 boats here and just be able to rip across this coastal and drop in on Karag. You're coming in with range units, dropping in coastally up onto these hills for additional range. There's not a lot of cover for people to fall back on. There is some woods, but it's not too much of a deterrent. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I definitely like that strategy. Defend up here for Babylon, offense down here for Babylon. They're already working on the ships. If that is the way they're going about it, that would make sense, especially because of their reliance currently on elephants, on ballista, which are very slow comparatively to like some other of these much faster units. Yeah, I mean, like, here's the movement range on a archer here, and here's the movement range with roads. Looks the same, but on roads. Yeah, just not great over on the ballista. So I'd like to see them, the siege line brought down here, set up in these hills, launching out over here, setting up some spears moved out across this flat land to help defend the additional high ground gain placement. Yeah, that sounds fun. Windless is going to be here in 1 year. We are still working on... Oh, maybe we rush these guys? These guys are fast. Definitely out quicker than we expected, so maybe we did do a rush here. Rushing options. We only have civics, so interesting if that's what we chose to spend it on. Not that we don't have a bad stockpile, but again, I would just love to see us pick up one of these laws. Maybe they're trying to decide which way they want to go. If full war breaks out, go for professional army. If full war does not break out, go for volunteers, so you're able to rush the units out accordingly. Yeah, what's the population even looking like? Only 1 here. That's not enough for a full-scale unit. 4 is definitely enough for at least 1 rush. So you got 1 rush here from volunteers, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have, yeah, that would be a 5-unit rush. Pretty powerful from an event to just burn through your existing citizens. Now let's see, like, they're building 1 here. To rush out with citizens, it would cost you... Oh, only 1 citizen? Oh my god, you could rush out so many. So yeah, I mean, volunteers actually would be a great pickup. What's the deterrence from picking it up? It's minus 33 civics a year. So yeah, I suppose if you're not using it... Okay. But yeah, I mean, horsemen are coming up here. So hopefully we're not seeing too much of a reliance on more siege here, but definitely horses are a good pickup looking into this. Another reason why I would love to be seeing more spears. But, you know, he doesn't have this knowledge because his spies have not gone deep enough into the turf. One more year and the spy can get further. 5 more years and this guy can get further. But yeah, I mean, this is great coverage. Nice little corridor that you're aware of here. But again, I would love to have this city spied on as well, because you're currently in the dark on a massive chunk of their forces. But again, a massive chunk of their forces, big number, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 idiots. It's, yeah. Maybe the window isn't so closed for the Babylon player after all. Taking a look over at that military score, Babylon continues to ramp, looking at a pretty scary advantage. Are they officially seen as much stronger? Just weaker, but after a couple of these horsemen pop, Won't be bad. We're officially starting to rush again. What way did we rush? Does it say? Alright, only using civics here to rush slingers. We really want that slinger to come out at the same turn that windlass is popping off. So we might be seeing a mass upgrade here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. I mean, 6 level 8 units being pushed out right here. Okay. You know what? The push might be coming. The push might be coming. And I'm not sure Kush is going to be able to withstand it. It's going to be tough. What they have to do here is chop all of this forest. Yeah. We need another onager back up on this hill. We need melee units up here, fortified, inside the woods along this border. We need to chop all of this area, give them nothing so that way our Blajj archers can do their best, one tier behind. We need spears to lock down this entire area, maybe an L of spears here. 4 Blajj archers backing it up, 1 onager in the city, 2 more back up on these hills, maybe even more just in a cluster back here, protected by spears, protected by this lake, and just really dig in here. We have the vision on all of this, so we will see from the Kushite player perspective if a mass upgrade comes next turn. We should see that. So we hopefully will see some posturing immediately from the 73 orders that they're going to be able to have next turn. But yeah, you need to consolidate. You need to get up here. Alright, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, exploration might have a little bit more benefit here than I initially anticipated, especially for the Babylon player who does not need the culture here, but exploration is going to help you move laterally. Would like to see, with this boat coming on, some placement down here, so that way you can at least zip people over, and you can use this neutral river to rotate your troops up and down, so that you can posture here and maybe poke in. But again, this is a nice, like, I like this spot to dig in as Kush. I like this line that you can form here. I like being able to chop out for this wide open area. I like the hills back here for extra range on onagers. I like the onagers that you have already in-house. I love the stockpile of civics that you can rush out more onagers with, more units with, which I'm sure we'll see spent. A lot of good options here. Stirrups itself can come on in 2 turns. That's going to be very useful. We are going to have... Let's take a peek. We're going to have 4 horsemen. That's not bad. Taking a look over at 1 horseman here. It is doing 10 damage to a ballista. How much is it going to do to an Akkadian? Akkadian is going to do 9, and to a... Yeah, in the woods on hill terrain. It's not going to do much against these Chimeran. Or Cimmerian. I don't know how you pronounce that. This wonderful Herd Man, looking forward to it. Yeah, thanks, stranger. Me too. Also looking forward to the next ones. To the Dead Rabbits, Project Zomboid. Well, also let me know how that's said. Cimmerian versus Beja. Who is the top archer? Hello, PMV. Hello, chat. Hello, Bold Gaming. Nice to see you. 2 Dead Rabbits. It's hard to say. If you're talking about blow for blow, the Blajj archer is going to be doing more damage if they are in a line. If they're in a cluster and you're shooting directly into the center, I think technically the Cimmerian, whatever it's called, archer is going to be doing more damage with its splash. So let's go ahead and go back to this guy. So let's take a peek. Shooting into woods, only doing 2 damage. Shooting out of woods, doing a whole bunch. It has extra damage because it's going to be next to one of its existing units, which is always very nice to see. Versus... these guys are going to be doing same amount of damage flat, it looks like. 12 damage. Oof, that's a big boost, and that's no benefits here. Also getting points from our happy family. Please family only, so plus 5%. But man, that's doing a lot of damage. Good basis, I think, to do this against is probably going to be the cities itself. So it's doing 5 damage to a city. compared to these guys doing 3 damage to a city, 4 damage to a city. Now, they should be blow for blow the same, so that might be family opinion difference. Yeah, no pleased family here, which is surprised that it makes it a full damage difference, only 5%, but, you know, there you go. But it is interesting. When we're doing attack for splash, and we shoot here, will it tell us? Kind of hard to say. I don't know a way to determine that, how much the splash is doing, but I imagine it's about the same amount that an onager would do. So it's a good chunk. I personally like these guys better because they're not, you know, alignment dependent. And these guys make them more susceptible to routing because even though it's more attack damage, it's no more defense damage. So lining a whole bunch of these guys up is great damage-wise, but it also makes them like really glass cannony. So if you're not able to protect them, if you're not able to be in defensive terrain, if your positioning is off even slightly, these guys are harder to use. So they're more like high skill cap, I would say. These guys, like any one of them, can just like, you know, do a lot of damage all on their own, and the splash in all directions is so nice for rounding errors. They're just able to, like, you know, finish off like 3 kills on a sloppy advance because you just have one of these guys in your back pocket. It's just very nice. There it is. There's the mass upgrade. We're seeing everybody coming across. Oh boy. A lot of damage coming off of these crossbows. It's a huge increase on overall military value. I would not be surprised to see them finally switch over to be now much weaker than Kush, and the time is here. We are going to be able to see this attack go off. It is going to be 53 orders. That is not a small amount of orders. All right, though. I'm not sure why we're chopping while we're doing this. I'd like to see maybe some units come back instead, heal up. I think that's a little bit of a waste of orders, but I'd like to see that the road is coming out. We're going to be seeing aggressive road coming forward. We are going to be finishing our settler in 1 turn, so we're going to have a forward base of offense. All of this looks really good. I wonder where he decides to settle, here or here. Kind of a hard call. I think this is a more defensible spot. You know, defended by these lakes. Gives you this whole back area back here to, you know, settle here, put a stronghold here, get 1 defender in here, and then the rest of this area can be very nice defended range. All in these nice trees, so nothing can shoot over them. Yeah, that's very strong. Aren, welcome. Apparently the old world way of pronouncing Cimmerian was with a K sound. Cimmerian. But more recently it has been pronounced in the movies' audiobooks with an S sound. Cimmerian. Interesting. Okay, very cool. Appreciate the phonetic education. All right. So, guys, we might be seeing some bloodshed. We had an opportunity to go for a points game, but this is the old world multiplayer tournament, and what would it be without a little bit of conquest? So, strap in, Conquerors. I hope that we'll be seeing some pretty strong positioning out of the Babylon player with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crossbow upgrade. A free crossbow just dropped. Oh, man, that is some bad news. So, we are looking at how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Or, no, this is a crossbow? That's a crossbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crossbows. 1, 2, 3 Cimmerian archers. The ability to get 2 more. So you're looking at 11 8 strength units versus 0. Oh, man. I mean, you got the orders for it. You got the civics to make some stuff happen here, Blajj. But you are going to have to bleed, my friend, to save yourself if you, if this push actually comes through, which it absolutely should. Huge power spike coming out of the Babylonian player. Let's see if that's been reflected here in the graph score. I'm not even certain that it has. This is because he's been rushing out a whole bunch of units, so this ramp has been quite nice. We're seeing also a ramp coming out of here out of Kush, but because the units aren't as strong, the ramp isn't as steep, so we are still 500 points behind, although that means less and less as long as they're able to keep up in pace. They are just weaker. They are still considered naive, but you got to be happy you're out of primitive. What is the law situation on Kush? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Or do we have citadels? Okay, we have a citadel. 2 citadels. Oh, man. Okay, so that's the thing here. Those citadel timing is late. Very, very late. And this city has been legendary. Strong for a while. You have plenty of science. One of the first things you can get on is your unique unit. So it is a little bit too bad to see these citadels coming on almost after turn 100. And if the loss does come here to the Kush player, that is the reason why. If we were able to upgrade the existing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a queue, 6, 7 in a queue, that would be a much fairer fight, 7 against 11, especially in defense, especially with the majority being hunters in hunter turf. With a happy hunter's family, you're in a good spot to defend. But we need to see upgrades here. You have resources to do it. You have the training to do it. There should be no warriors left in your nation. Do you have access to bows? We do not. But that is a quick tech. That is a 2-turn tech you can grab. So we need to see stirrups being grabbed. We need to see composite bow being grabbed. Maybe composite bow here would have been better just to have an existing upgrade, because slingers are going to be good for rounding errors, but that's about it. You would need at least archers here to help, but I suppose you're focusing on your Medjai archers, so I can't really debate that strategy. Oh, man. Yes, it's going to be a tough one. We're going to have some upgraded horsemen, but he's up against the upgraded horsemen, so that's not an advantage. You have access to spears and axes. You have resources to sell. We still haven't even thought about killing the Pope here. This alone would get you out of the negatives. If we're dealing with more rebellions and we're taking the orders to kill more units, I hope he's just heavily prioritizing training. Production's going to be on his side. Production's going to be massively on his side. What are we doing here? And Odeon is interesting. I'm not sure it's a time for Odeons and monasteries anymore. Alright, going for the Holy Church. Because why not have 3 religions all with the Holy Wonders? It seems like he is focusing on a points-based strategy, which, you know, would be great if his opponent was going to give him more time. But he's not. You are seeing some of these upgrades. He would have heard this noise as an indicator. He would see the crossbows now on the map, but unfortunately they look very similar to the ballista, so if he's not paying super close attention, he might not notice, which would be an absolute travesty, just further showing how important a scout game is. We'd love to have somebody in the woods here, nice and safe. It looks like we do have access to more agents. Some more science can be gotten here, or at least more gold. 15 gold is great here. Yeah, grab this guy. Throw him in there. He's not doing you any good. Always keep your schemers busy and happy. It's a nice 20 opinion boost with a schemer, so it's the only place you can stash them. But yeah, if a loss does come here, it's going to be because he didn't get his citadels up fast enough, and it's because he doesn't have the scouting on this whole city right here. He's able to see 2 of these upgrades. That should be more than enough. He should be able to see this unit as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upgrades he missed. So he is aware of danger, but he has no idea how much danger he's actually in, which is very nervous-making. These units are able to march pretty far. They'll be able to get into these woods undetected, but they won't be able to obviously push past this open field, which is right where the horses are going to want them. We are still seeing some spears. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but those should be easy enough to target with your existing units. I would probably use my idiots out here to clear off any spears first and foremost, to open up the rest of his units out to horse harassment in this open field. And again, I would use workers right here to chop all of this out, just to keep this open and flat terrain for your horses to do more damage. If that is going to be one of the power spikes that you have available to you, you have to be taking advantage of it. Because you already have this wonderful open field right here that if anyone were to come in, this little corridor would be a routing dream. So you want to just build the exact same situation out here. Especially if you're currently seeing yourself as weaker, as naive, you're not going to be aggressing. You know your power spikes are on the horizon. We're going for architecture here. Architecture. Comparatively to coinage, doctrine, and scholarship, I think is a mistake. I would love to see doctrine being grabbed here. You're about to upgrade all of your existing cities with more orders because you hopefully will start building all your shrines. Let's see if that production has gotten going. But with extra shrines, with Heliopolis comes extra orders. Okay, good. We are seeing shrines getting dropped down. Very nice. All right, good. He is focusing on the right stuff he should be, but I would love to see more shrines coming down, more orders coming across. We have Acropolis here. But Orthodoxy would then be a great pickup to have because once you've upgraded all your cities to get the maximum amount of orders, you can grab Orthodoxy to rush with orders. So now you'd be able to have access to volunteers, Orthodoxy rush, and Holy War if you end up going in all those directions. Yes, and we are going for barding. Oh my god, we might see barding. If he waits for barding, that actually might work out for him. Interesting. He has a lot of science, but his window's right now. I would love to see the push out right here. Yeah, because now we're seeing the actual impact of the upgrade. The upgrade here at the beginning of turn 95 is showcasing a overall strength of 2200 comparatively to the 1300 over on the Kushite player. Oh my lord, an 800 increase over your opponent is huge. Are you officially seeing him as much weaker? No. So if that goes to show you guys, I think you need to have like at least 50% more than your opponent. No, he would have 50% more than his opponent. So it's much stronger, like 100% more than your opponent. Is it double? That's a pretty high threshold. If someone could shout that out in the chat. Yeah, 230 science at turn 94 is wild. It's a very strong science game. Very happy to see it over at Blajj. He did pretty much the entire last episode banging out so much science through means of religion. He picked all the right stuff for it. I'm not sure if you caught this earlier, but Gnosticism on Zoro, dualism on Judaism. He spread the religions out to all the families. He can spread Christianity even further if you would like. I wouldn't because the Pope hates you, but that would net you one more science per city that has Judaism in it, which I think is all of them. So he has a lot of science. He has opportunities to get even more science. He's in a really good spot overall, scientifically. But again, we're taking a look over at the chart. We're seeing that the science production is still playing a catch-up game. He's well ahead, but in production currently on this turn, but he is behind 1,600, 1,500 science invested. So he, in maybe 20 turns, will be closer, but that's going to be 20 turns from now. All right, we have a whole bunch of amazing picks here, options for the Kushite player to be grabbing for new techs. We have access to Battle Line, Doctrine. We're going for Battle Line. Okay. We also have barding selected here, so it looks like we might see double portcullis game into a double barding game. That would be a first for the tournament. Cataphracts being developed on both sides is very cool. I like to see that. 2 turns here. He does have more science. He does have this already down. This is in the draw pile. This could very well come out next. There's only 4 other things in the draw piles. We're not certain how many free cards are still out there in the deck. Let's take a peek. Draw pile. Yeah, so he's only got these 4 in the draw pile. Is there no free cards? Do free cards show here? Can we get a verification from anybody inside of the turf? Yep, that's always the trade-off, Dead Rabbits, man. You can only do one. You can't. It's hard to get military and specialists for scientific improvement out in both of your cities. These monks are certainly going to help with that scientific game. Huge bonuses coming out of them, but You know, is it worth it when you're staring down a stronger opponent while you're naive? You know, it becomes tough. Which of these issues are you more concerned about dealing with? Are you concerned about dealing with the fact that he's going to have better troops or more of them? And it's a hard line to follow, because there is no right decisions in Old World. Because even though you might make what's based best off of known information, that's no guarantee. Is this guy going to be working on a camp? No. Bad. You don't need food. You have so much food. Chop this area out. Make sure yourself is defended. You know these things upgraded. You saw that, and if you didn't, you weren't paying attention, Sir Blajj. The military is rotating out there. We are seeing these forces approach closer and closer to the front line. Death is coming to Kush, if only he were to be aware of it. If he took the opportunity to chop out these woods, you're going to see this incoming fight go a lot smoother, because his entire position is going to have to be around the city of Kawa, due to the range. So you'll be seeing this nice open circle. And assuming that you have this crescent being opened up, you want the opponents not to have any cover to deal with your best units. The Onager's in the right spot. Happy to see it. Nice Onager on Onager action. Another one's coming here. We'll love to see it over on this hill. Would be able to do a lot of damage. But maybe I might even have it here. And just have a line of spears this way. Move these archers back one. Have these horsemen hidden down here, but again, chop all this area out so it's faster for them to get in. A lot of opportunities for him to do here. We'd love to see roads being built here, infrastructure being built here. You have a whole bunch of stuff. Your economy is fine. You're probably just scared of this number. I can barely blame you. It is a daunting amount to be behind. Still haven't even thought to kill the Pope. Still dealing with potential rebellion coming out of all these cities. That's a little bit ugly. We'd love to see at least these resources being traded out to them. You have incest, lavender, and wine. That's not going to help you out with any of your families, but you can give all three for a huge bonus to the landowners. That would at least decrease their overall. If you're not doing anything with them, you have plenty of orders to be handing out. 6 orders to get off your back. Yep, that is a Deathball army if I've ever saw one. Yeah, that is scary. That is scary. But again, you know, we'll see. We'll see if Cliff is willing to jump. He's been a very careful player. We're seeing, you know, gardens being built, so that's not necessarily guaranteeing that he's thinking entirely about warfare. Forums are good. That's going to be giving you orders, so grabbing forums everywhere is nice. Grabbing another settler is interesting, so we are going to be settling both of these spots. That's cool to see. But, you know, we still have straggling troops back here. A whole bunch of spears, actually, which would be super helpful. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 spears not on the front line. They're not doing your most damage. I can understand why they wouldn't be a priority to bring to the front, but considering the fact that they are not here for damage, they're here for positioning purposes, because you do see that you're about to walk into an open field with your very routable army. These guys are going to be fine taking... doing damage to horses, but they get stomped just as easily as anything else in an open field. All right. Although it'll be very interesting to see when it becomes very clear, unavoidable, that the death ball is coming. Yeah, not having vision on this forest right here is going to be very scary when a whole bunch of troops show up right here a day's march away. Oh, man. That's going to be brutal. All right, family opinion has dropped here in the Sage's seat, so goodbye to our solid margins. It's not due to bad relations with the paganism, but this negative opinion here. Also, would love to see some assassinations. You don't need schemers, spoiled schemers that are angry at you as the Pope. You need to get rid of this dude. I don't care if it's your brother-in-law, your sister will recover. Ditch this dude. He could get replaced. We'll love to see this guy get got. I mean, you're not going to be replacing really with much better. I mean, at least the Duchess is also your Chancellor. And the Oligarch. So, focusing on her, if she then has 3 positions as the family head, religion head, and your... yeah, actually, I mean, that'd be a very heavy position of power, so a lot of events would come from her. But if you can keep her on your side, that's going to handle your family problem, your religion problem, and give you extra bonuses from your Chancellor here. So, all around could be a really nice opportunity. But still, guys, on both players, assassinate your popes. They're going to be a problem. Get rid of them. This guy's smart enough. Do you have any better schemers? Not really. She's pretty good. She's young. Family opinion would also get boosted, so I'd like to see her potentially in if this guy dies. This guy isn't anybody. Yeah, he's just 66 and old. She's just all in all better. No. Yeah, meanwhile, you're Babylon and you see exactly what you're up against. And, like, you're not scared about this. You're seeing slingers. You're seeing level 6s. Yeah, here come the roads. Alright, if you weren't aware of the potential encroachment before, you're going to be aware of it now. We'll see if this finally rings the alarm bells for Kush. If we see this scout, who's actually he's on a cooldown, so he can't move. So is this scout. Neither of these scouts are even able to move back into this forest to keep an eye. All the thing that's going to be telegraphing this punch that's coming in is this one worker that's officially stepped into vision range of the Kushite Empire to build this road. That's a pretty aggressive move in and of itself, but you're not able to see exactly how aggressive or how quickly that punch is coming. So I would love to see, you know, maybe even a rush scout, frankly. You need to have vision on what might be coming in. You need to have a general idea, and that could be a massive detriment here for the Kushite player. Okay. Yes, they're influenced. Do we also have... We don't have metaphysics, but they are influenced, so I'd also take the time just to convert this family away. Yeah, I mean, that's the family head. But you can convert this agent and, like, 2 other people, and that should be enough to flip them, so it's not even a huge investment, civics-wise. And both players have plenty of civics at this point, but I can understand wanting to hold your civics so that way you're able to perform rushes, which well, let's see. All right, didn't stop us from building more lumber mills very first thing on our turn. We're moving out a unit. Okay. Might be thinking to ourselves, ooh, piece of candy. Swing out with 2 of these Blajjs. And that's a great way to lose 2 Blajjs. It's possible that we see a ballista run in here, do some damage. Luckily, they are in the woods, so these crossbows aren't going to do too much in return. But, you know, this one obviously has Warden, yeah. So if it steps in here, it's doing 7. And there is return fire coming. You can get hit on all places. But you can attack this guy twice safely from this onager and this onager. So there's some nice opportunities to go over and at least pluck off one of these units. That does put them in an open field. That's only 5 damage into this crossbow. So even these guys attacking into an open field with a general on it is not going to be enough to punch through. Oh boy. I think we're going to see first blood of this fight get drawn here. Battle line is going to be up in this turn. It's possible that we see Martial Code coming to the next. He'll be able to get that in 4 years. The question is, does he have 4 years even left to him? We are obviously trying to get the importance of additional agents. We do have the ambition to even do it. It makes sense as to why we're plopping these guys down everywhere we can. So nice to see the investment is being made. But again, it's just not going to come in enough time. This is going to be a rough one. We aren't seeing any rushes yet. We have a stockpile of 2,000 civics. There's no reason why we shouldn't be rushing at all. This will convert into 27. Is that what it is? It overflows by 1 in 10. For every 10 civics you drain, you gain 1 science per turn. Is that accurate? Yep, I'm with you, Snap. A whole bunch of woods up in this area and not a single scout to be seen. He's maybe appropriately, maybe not appropriately. It's kind of hard to say, but he is focusing on his ambition here. So he is focusing on getting these guys on cooldown as soon as he can to spread the agents around all the area. It serves plenty of purposes. It is a good move. He now has agents available in 1, 2, 3, 4 cities. I would love to see one placed here. You do have options. They do give you science. This, oh, actually, no, this guy's already being used. But you do have an option. You could get more science and more gold by just dropping a dude right here. Take a couple of orders. You could drop another guy right here. But you only have access to 5 of them. That's too bad. You need 1 more courtier or 1 more schemer. That's a little bit too brutal. Okay. The ballistas coming in are going to be great. They're already locked in queue. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got 4 ballistas. We're going to have access to horses. If we're going to be able to defend ourselves, we do... I mean, Kush does have the military makeup to do so. He's got axes to kill the spears. He's got ballista to kill the crossbows. He's got horses to kill the ballistas. He's got enough onagers to provide backup range. His unique unit is capable of getting upgraded. We are still waiting on the 1 turn to get the citadel down. I would love to see these guys start to rotate this way, get back from the front line, maybe even give up a couple of cities just to ensure that you don't lose the units that you're able to upgrade to your level 8 strength. Because if these get taken off the board right here, it might really be worth it because you're denying not only the strength that's present here, but the potential that they'll be able to upgrade into. And you are, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the works. So again, 7 upgradable units that are coming on through. And if you chop off 2 of those, that's a huge reduction in the overall potential power that he's going to have just 1 turn from now. We have a lot of resources. We should be selling probably all of this stone. But instead we're building forts here. Oh, misclick. Yep, happens to the best of us, Axeman. A little bit of a waste of stone there. That's too bad. But I wonder what the play is here. I mean, a little bit of worry has to be coming. There is a road leading right here that does increase the distance that these units can travel to. Horses can reach all the way to the front line. Spears can get over into view. Even onagers can make it all the way up here. So this road network is very nice coming out of the Babylon player. Some excellent infrastructure game here. All right. Blajj, again, man, very impressed by the overall catch-up game on the science area. If this game goes to turn 120, I think you will officially have the most science invested. But it is up to you, my friend, to see if you can actually survive past this incursion, because this could be a breaker. But again, nothing's certain in this game, guys. Anybody can take a lead at any time. All right. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this vision comparison. Especially now with this landowner's seat pickup. You are aware that there is nothing back here. You see right here that the Citadel is going to be down in 1 turn. So that if he is scoping this out entirely, this is a new piece of vision. So if he is taking a look at this, he might very well decide that, okay, even more so, now's the time. We have a lot of options here. As far as making it over to barding, we will have martial code here first for the Babylonian player. But remember, they still need to get steel. They still need to get battle line before they're able to get barding. Whereas the Kushite player is working on Battle Line, and very next turn could start on Martial Code. So that's going to be 1,000 investment they need versus the other player just needs 200, 600, so 800. So the race for Barding is going to be a tight one. But the question kind of comes down to, you know, are both players going to wait until they have Barding? It's not a bad idea. It's a huge upgrade. Both players are investing in Horseman as it already exists. Would love to see potentially more investment of that coming from the Kush player here because you have the food econ as strongly as you do. Where do you have access to horses? So this place shouldn't be building a ballista. This place should be building another chariot. Or I suppose you have access to horsemen now? Yeah, so I'd like to see horsemen being built out of Kerma, out of Soleb, out of Gassibream, out of Napata. You don't need any more. You don't need any more monks at this point. I want to see full-on military units. If these queues don't switch over to military production, now that you know that this is coming, that will be a mistake. So I'd like to see horsemen coming out of all these places, especially if you're priming yourself to be switching up to cataphracts. And everywhere that doesn't have access to horses can be working on ballista. But this area doesn't need to be working on ballista when it can work on horsemen. Production-wise, the game does go to Kush. The machine is on. The printer is on. The question is just whether or not it's going to be printed enough. We are at 20 points. We did know that we could get another 14 if we rushed out Opulence projects. That would massively hurt his overall ability to make units. But, you know, if this game comes out and both armies get ground down to nothing, if this becomes a stalemate, then you can see while this Babylon might be trying to build up their military force again to smash on in, we could also just see during that lull, Kush push out nothing but Opulence projects. So there's a few paths to victory here for Kush if this is anything less than a massive win for Babylon. Oh, we are officially moving units forward. That is a vision of a crossbow on your turf. We still have 21 orders here in tight, meaning you're still able to do political moves. I would hope that he's at least taking a view at political machinations that he has an option to. You are still dealing with this and have been for this entire session. Since the last session, I believe you're dealing with this as well. So would love to see some political shenanigans being used to take out this patriarch and to improve his family's opinion, because if war breaks out and a rebellion breaks out at the same time, or even just dissent coming from the religion to make rebels, you can't afford any distractions. Although I suppose with 70 orders perhaps you can, but you need your troops focused on with all those 70 orders so that way they can, you know, survive this onslaught by elite units by being a massive horde that is at least potentially coordinated. A lot of horses being brought to the front line. That does indicate that we are not looking to upgrade these units. So these 5 horsemen are likely to stay horsemen into this conflict. It looks like we are not waiting around for Kush to gain in strength, for Kush to continue to ramp. We are only going to be focusing primarily on pushing out and taking them down, and they do still have that window. Well done to Babylon for being able to maintain it. I wasn't certain after the last game that they would. If we switch over to their side, the political situation is being weighed down a little bit as well, I believe. Yep, both players have one angry family. So both players have equal amounts of potential for distraction here, and we're seeing that in some of the cities. There's 4 landowner seats, I believe, over on the Kushite side, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so the same. So 4 and 4 potential rebellious cities, which is not what you're looking for. And yep, we do in fact have rebellion, and not as many orders as the Kush player by 50%. So yeah, definitely a bit of a problem. Not seeing any more shrines being built. There's 1, 2, 3. 4. Heliopolis itself. So that's 4 more orders. Martial code is here. Can imagine an immediate grab of this tech over for the Kush player. We did drop an agent over here in Boshipa, enough to now know that they have rebels, that they are dealing with distractions, but one turn too late to see the massive migration of all these units come and then swing into this area. So we weren't necessarily certain of their numbers here before they left. So this is all you're seeing. Maybe you're feeling a little bit better. Maybe Kush is thinking to himself, maybe I don't have to defend as much. Maybe I don't have to swing as many forces to the front. So again, scouting being just even one turn too late is just really showing that if he doesn't react because he doesn't think he has to, this could be very, very dangerous for Kush. Oh boy. Scary, scary times. But again, this is what I was saying. Sneaking all the way back and grabbing the science pickups certainly are good, but getting for multiplayer specifically, when you only have one person to focus on, vision is everything. Knowing what your opponent's up to so you can respond in kind, so you can fortify, so you know to chop down all these places, which I still think you should be doing, as opposed to making more camps. This will just get lit on fire. So what's the plan of attack here? If we're up on this turf, that's 5 range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're not able to reach from this hill into Kawa. So any onagers that you want to be putting out here are going to either have to be in the southern. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can be on this hill. This hill, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. So there's only this hill for high ground opportunities for further range on the onagers. His positioning is up here, so he might still be using this area, but to put an onager line out here, which is where it would have to be to have range of the city, is going to be putting it way in open terrain, capable for horses to come on in. So onagers are not going to be particularly useful here in this fight. Again, you have a solid archer line, so bringing more archers to the front is going to be really good. But again, you got to chop out all this area to make that worth it. I see a lot of this when people are making strategies. They place their units in front of the city to maybe let it absorb attacks. No. Don't worry about the little bit of discontent that you're getting from hit over hit, right? Like, you are developing 8 a turn, and it's going to take you a good chunk of turns to actually increase overall. It's okay if you go up a discontent level. It's okay if this drops a little bit. It's worth it to hold on to the troops, because the troops are going to keep you from losing the city. And if you lose the city, it's going to be a lot worse in an opinion dip against your family than just getting a couple of dings onto it. Get your walls, use it as a shield, keep your troops behind it, because this is just a really tanky unit as far as I'm concerned. You could put your most powerful attacker in here, your biggest glass cannon, to shoot out, so a ballista inside of the walls of Kawa would be an amazing option. I'd also take this onager, I'd move it back, because when people are coming up to be in melee range with the city, then you can't shoot one tile away. So I'd have this brought back, keep the ballista inside, get a line right here to then hold this straight line. So people only have 2 vectors of attack melee-wise to attack onto these 2 units fortified in the woods, and I would have these be spears or axes or maces that you can now upgrade into. So yeah, I have 2 fortified maces here, so that you have this one mountain being a bulwark and the city being a bulwark, and you're making this nice shield. And then you extend it this way with the rest of your line. And you put range up here, you put range into these hills, you get the best of the area reinforced, and you fortify this line, maybe all the way even back to this river. So that way, you're just holding fast, you can heal all your units, and then your sentinel ranged units can deal damage while these fortified guys are just healing up turn over turn. If they're getting poked in ranged, who cares? They're in the woods. If they're getting poked back here, who cares? This area's chopped out. You now let them open for a route. So that is all ideal. And if they're getting attacked in melee and they are, already up to macemen, that's a solid wallop that's coming back against any spears. But let's face it, you'll be up against crossbowmen. But even still, even though they have pierce, I'd rather lose damage onto a maceman so that way you can hold on to these Medjay archers while you're upgrading your cities, so that way you're actually able to upgrade them. We do have Citadel here. We do still have orders. I'd love to see at least some of these Blajj archers coming back for upgrades that just got dropped. That has to be a massive priority of yours. Meanwhile, we're just to kind of keep focusing on the economy. I think this very next turn, might be one turn too late to really snap to attention. And I suppose I can understand why they wouldn't. They don't see half the death ball. They don't see a quarter of it, quite frankly, out here in the woods. Minus 400 money seems a bit rough for Kush if he is going into a huge fight. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle monetarily. His resources, stockpiles are very solid, though. He could sell plenty of his resources. He's got plenty of stone, particularly. That is not going to be super useful for this upcoming fight. Onagers are going to be fine, but you're really going to be wanting to kill these crossbows and these Sumerian archers. So I would say the ballistas are going to be more important in this particular fight. We are gearing up for martial code. Barding is coming afterwards. We do see that there's a lot of cards in the discard pile. So there's plenty to draw from. So there is maybe a 50% chance that Barding does not show up in the next hand. So we could be able to see Cataphracts come out in fairly short order for the Kushite player. Certainly faster than the Babylonian player. It's going to take 6 turns to get martial code out. So if it does come to a Cataphract versus Cataphracts, that could be a hilarious way that he's able to pull that out. But that all depends on exactly how charitable Babylon is willing to be here. We are finishing up our distractions, killing off our... Ooh, no. Dealing with crossbow rebels. Yeah, guys, come on. Many turns have passed, and I haven't seen anybody even try to kill the Pope. Both these popes hate you. Both of them are the reason why you're having issues inside these cities entirely. Getting rid of this guy is going to change this entire situation for you, or getting this person to start using your stockpile of civics to be able to convert them over, or just using yourself to convert people over. Get this family out and into the right fight. That would be a 300 value swing. They would go from being angry at you to friendly with you if they just changed religion. So that is something you absolutely got to get worked out. I mean, not to mention, you got a good chunk of your units here that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of your best units here are sages. So them having an angry opinion of you, as far as combat bonuses are concerned, sucks. Wait, is this not the sages? I thought that was sages. No, that's sages. Where's the negative opinion bonus? They were angry. Interesting. I wonder what's going on there. Huh. Do we have a happy opinion on these guys? Yeah, it's there. Am I missing it over here? No, it's just missing. Huh. I wonder what's going on there. Rincewind, the income deficit is easily covered by the resource incomes. Yes, I agree. The resource incomes coming out of Kush are impressive. It is very nice. I wonder if there's anything else you can do for that. Is he already in Tyranny? No, he's not even in Tyranny. I mean, like, almost all of this is just made up on the Switch. I understand, wanting to keep a stockpile of civics for Russian capabilities, and I hope it comes as a massive, unwelcome surprise for Babylon, just because that'll be a very interesting gameplay. But it's not... Oh, and here... Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, Kush is using all of these civics to start rushing stuff now, this turn. You can do that on your opponent's turn. You can rush. If he's paying attention, he should be rushing out at least some of these, using these civics for something. But he should also be switching over to Tyranny. That's going to be extra production. You don't need the orders. You have so many. You have plenty of science. This would be a huge loss in science, but Tyranny is going to save you here. It's going to save your economy. It's going to overall increase your production. It's going to give you more training back, turn over turn. All right, we're seeing the massive forces of Babylon coming out. We're casting a wide net here, not leaving ourselves open for much possibility of routes. We're grabbing Highland where we can. We are creeping in. There are only so many orders available to you when you're moving a huge force of like 15 people with only 50 orders. That's only 3 movements per, and you're leaving 5 dudes behind. Interesting. Leaving this guy pretty open. Hopefully more units get put up into the front. Your crossbows are strong. You do want to keep them protected, so I would move the spears in first, get a nice front row of spears, then follow up with the crossbows. That would at least force them to fall back because no one wants to waste their orders coming out to kill spears when the stronger units are behind. So that would have them, you know, foot backwards, dig further in. I guess you do kind of want him to maybe feel invited to come out here, so there are ways to bait. But I mean, when you're playing strategic like this and you have a huge force coming out, he should be retreating no matter what. Oh. Well, it's too late to chop now. So they are going to get additional cover here. Ranged are going to take a minus 25% damage just right here in Scrub. They're going to take minus 50 damage when they're sitting here in these 3 forest tiles that you're going to have to give. These 4 forest tiles they're going to have to give up to onagers and Sumerian archers. So this is rough. You're going to be giving a nice defensive position for him to sit in here and slingshots out at you. You're going to give him a nice defensive position here to put in units to grab this urban tile. And then other units are going to be able to stage out here while still taking 25% reduced damage. So definitely a missed opportunity here for the Kush player to strengthen their defensive capabilities. And again, it comes down to preparedness, and you would have known if you had the scouting. So it's just like, you know, that one little miss on an otherwise amazing building strategy can throw the initiative for this early fight way out of whack. So we'll see how the Kush player responds. He's not ignorant anymore of the potential threat that's coming his way. He's seeing it in real time, and he's got to be pretty fearful of what he's up against, because this is no small force. Oh man, they do a lot of damage, even in the woods, even in urban. Yeah, these guys need to get upgraded into macemen, so that way they at least have the anti-infantry capabilities. I mean, he's still staring down. Yeah, he's similar now incompetent. You're similar incompetent. You did it. You did it, Blajj. You did it. You finally got there. Science production score. You're massively ramping up. It's only a 1,200 difference now. Wow, I mean, even more of a difference. So even when we started this game around turn 86, he's increased it nearly 100 since then. So a massive continuous ramp. Love to see that out of Blajj. Very impressive overall scientific showing here. He will eventually overtake Babylon, and that's great if he can survive long enough to actually make advantage of it. He's only 1,200 down, and he's going to be over 100 a turn. So in 12 turns, he'll officially overtake his opponent in the science game. Very impressive. This game could very easily go to turn 110 if this initial fight doesn't completely break the back of the Kush. But we'll see right now with 66 orders available to him how well he's able to respond. We are seeing, yes, very good. All right, so good. He finally used his civics here to rush out all these ballista, the exact right unit. He's got to be happy about that. So he's going to have 3 more ballista hitting the field. They will be rolling up in fairly short order. They can't be going that fast. The road system here is not bad in the Kush Empire either. But getting here from these southern cities up to the north is going to take a bit of a haul. And these ballistas are not quick at all. Do we have... we do have exploration here as well, so they will also be able to take advantage of this waterway. So that's always nice to see. Yep. Definitely got to be brought to the front, but I want for you to focus over here on this front line the best you can. Yep, slapping on a zealot. I like that. Doing the matriarch as well. Okay. Still not dealing with the patriarch here. So both players going into with a bad potential discontent situation, bringing down one family into nearing rebellion. So definitely a bit of a worry coming in for both. He is fully dedicated to the order boost here that he's going to maintain as Kush. I hope that he's also going to allow the rest of these workers to slowly drop off. Your economy is as good as it gets. I would love to see him also use these civics to switch over to tyranny. Now is the time too. Although I suppose you're holding on to Constitution to be able to grab decrees out. it is a lot of orders. 12 orders out of every 4 turns is pretty damn fast, so I can't really argue with that as much as I want to. I'm not sure about this. I still think dealing with your economy and getting that out, getting Tyrion in here, increasing your production is going to be better than getting just extra orders, because you're already getting so many orders a turn and you have minus 20 from improvement construction. Like, you don't need more orders. What you need is more troops, because your troops aren't as powerful as his are. You'll clearly be able to do some damage. This guy is able to shoot through and do 10 damage. So 2 of these can drop a crossbow every turn. But in return, you know, they're not doing any slouchy damage back to the ballista. And it is an interesting mix-up. We do have some additional ballistas here. We do have some horsemen. We are falling back to here. Hopefully we aren't leaving the settler out in front that's just asking for a dead settler, or not settler, slinger. Hopefully we bring this guy back too. You want to hold this line, reduce your vectors of attack by as much as you can. The attacking pattern coming out of Babylon is strong. I'm not certain I agree with some of the placement here, but I suppose just casting a wide net, you know, you're inviting some troops in. If they come out and fight out here in the open, that only benefits you. So I suppose you don't have to be too precise on your approach here, but I would love to see him lead with the spears. Because if people are going to come out and rush you, that's all the better for you. But you want to give them a little bit of bait, something they can actually kill here. And even when they kill it, you know, what's that even worth to you? Like, you don't really care too much about your spears. They're really just there to block you from routes. And if, you know, you lose 3 spears and are able to kill 5 units, then that's more than worth it. Oh, I'm reverberating. Hold on. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. How we sounding, guys? Are we still on reverb? It's gone now? All right, cool. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated, Dead Rabbits. All right, so we're throwing on generals, all the right stuff. But these guys are going to come in for the right first punch. I guess I can understand wanting to hold on to these forested areas, but you're just going to open yourself up for an attack by ballista. Yeah, I mean, I'm coming in here with 2 crossbows. I'm killing this worker. I'm grabbing this tile here for 1 crossbow. I'm bringing a second ballista in here to shoot on through and do a lot of damage. And then I'm bringing spears up for the front line, and we're just going to deal with the retaliation. Bringing a second force around on the next turn, punching in again. I got plenty of troops. I can absorb a whole bunch of damage here. I'm going to be able to grab this forest for myself, so your plinks aren't going to do that very much. It's actually going to reduce... it's the best way to reduce damage coming in from onagers hiding in the woods. So this is actually a phenomenal initial place to grab and hold. So yeah, it would be ballista, and then 3 crossbows in here to grab space, and then bring a whole nother contingent of crossbows down here and push in from this area. I mean, because, like, what do you do here? This fort's going to drop. All right. Blajj is bringing everything he can to the front lines. But again, we'd love to see some upgrades here. We're using all of our resources now. Probably a good idea, again, for tyranny. But I suppose when you've been that behind on science for so long. But this seems like a little bit too much. I mean, it's an impressive showing. My lord, almost 300 science before turn 100 is very, very impressive. But to what end, my friend? To what end? You could have dealt with maybe 25 less a few turns ago. Tyranny is doing a lot for the economy. In fact, it's the entire thing floating the economy here over in Babylon. So they would have been in the same issue without it themselves. Okay. Let's see this attack. Maybe try and call a truce to the Chancellor on Kush. Yeah, Ambassador, please. Please. Oh, man. Okay. And again, well, we have an ill beefy judge. My lord, this guy still has the most ridiculous stats I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen anybody get this much overall points. I wonder how he did it. I wonder if we have a whole bunch of kids exploring. Or maybe we did early on in our life. That was able to give us this huge chunk of wisdom from exploration events. Huh. Curious. Yeah. Yeah, be doing that amount of showing on overall science comparatively to a science nation. I mean, Babylon's great at running science right from turn 1. So that is why kind of put the bug inside of Kush's head that they needed to push science as hard as they could. Perhaps they pushed too hard, but, you know, it's an impressive showing regardless. All right, analyzing the battlefield. Downs a whole bunch of orders already. Moving elephants to the front line. Moving some workers to not get killed by this random rebellion crossbow. This random rebellion archer. We still have 1, 2, 3 useless spears here in the back. 4 useless spears in the back. Would like to see the cannon fodder be moved to the front line. All right, we moved a slinger back, upgraded into a crossbow. Crossbow versus crossbow. Should be able to deal with this fairly easily. Funnily enough, if they even try to defend it with these useless spears, the crossbows are going to kill them. That is not a good rebel that you want to see. More of a reason to kill the Pope. Kill the Pope. Looks like the influence mission went off well. Bought dividends. They're working on family gifts to themselves. Interesting. Seems like a conflict of interest, but I suppose that can't be helped. We do still have gems in perfume able to be given away. Those should be given away just to get this person out of rebellion. So would love to see out of both of these players for their next games, focusing a little bit more strongly on the internal family opinion, killing rebellious popes, converting families away to the proper religion. It's going to save you a lot of time and aggravation later on, not to mention give you overall increased damage stats, especially going into this fight. Would love to see an influence mission go on to the oligarch here. Was he ever... He's not a retired... Unfortunately, he's not a retired... what's it called? But quite frankly, it might even be worth... Because this family is never going to be better than neutral with you, right? So you might as well just make this family friendly and turn all of your hunters... guys into having pleased family religion points. I think it might be better for you off overall in the long run. Because, yeah, they make the majority of your army anyways. So I'd focus on getting these guys over 200, the additional 5. So, yeah, throw one of your luxuries in here for an extra 5% attack bonus on all of these units is just incredibly important. And then toss your other luxury on this family just to get closer and closer to getting them over. This will give plus 40 opinion, but you'll still be in the negatives, so you'll still need that extra luxury on top of this to get them out of negatives. Deal with 0 chance of getting additional rebels, and increase that to at least not having a deficit. Right now they're losing 5% combat strength. Alright, the death ball moves ever closer. 19 orders left to go, so this will not be the turn that First Blood is drawn. Kush will get yet another turn to respawn. All of these rushed units now will come out a little bit faster. Would have liked to see these instead... Well, yeah, I mean, we're doing another set of rushing, so we're definitely taking the threat very seriously, and we're definitely getting all the right stuff. We are seeing Sumerian archers, we're seeing crossbows. Ballistas is his best response here. He is gearing up to eventually get up to barding, which will come on actually in fairly short order. 2 turns from now. It is... going to be a 50% chance that doesn't show in the next pile for the Babylonian players. So it's actually kind of funny. One of the keys to success might be the timing on barding coming in for the Kushite player. But that's the whole seesaw, guys. You know, here is the window. The window could close over on these guys, so it's very interesting. Makes you almost kind of wonder if it would have been potentially smarter for the Kushite player to go for Polybolos. But Polybolos is actually right here, too. So, yeah, I mean, kind of a hard one to say. I'd probably keep my horses back. They're not going to do you much good on this particular terrain, this being dug in. I wouldn't want to risk them frankly, especially with Barding around the corner. So I'd probably hold my routing units back until I was able to make like a serious dent or get access to the onager line. Yep. I've been saying that since the early days, Rinswin. I'm right there with you, man. This whole area should be flat, especially because the Kushite player is so steadfastly rushing towards Barding themselves. Both players are researching martial code right now, so this is going to be not only our first time seeing cataphracts in the game, but if this game goes long enough, it'll be our first time seeing double cataphracts from both players in the game, which I think is very funny. It's not even very late into the tournament. We've seen games not go this late and not see cataphracts. So both players in their scientific games are being very impressive showings this time. Scary to go against either one of these players. If you yourself are not a nation builder, you certainly don't want to play against either one of these guys on a map this large because they clearly are able to take advantage of it. Where he's not making forts is Kush. Yes, he is making forts in some spots, but you're right. He should be making forts in all of his spots. He should be making forts in these hills. He should be making forts in this back line, so any range coming over would be fine. I can maybe get away with not making forts here on these woods, considering the makeup of here being majority range. So maybe the forest here is just fine, but I would be making forts along this nice long L. I would be fortifying melee units all into it, even though these guys would be able to come in and decimate those units. Being able to get the first return fire, I think, is going to be even better than losing these units initially, as opposed to, being able to defend a little bit better as archers in the woods. So, there might be a benefit here. I'm more focused on just ditching out my cannon fodder, first and foremost, and keeping these guys completely healed. But perhaps it is mathematically better. This is interesting. Why? I don't know what this accomplishes. It doesn't get him any more vision. I mean, if he built a fort here, they're just dead. But the Slinger's just dead now, no matter what. But yeah, chopping out this entire area, turn this all flat into everything but this L. Oh, we're pushing forward. Okay. All right, we have a chance to take some plinks off here. Trading a Slinger, potentially, here for... It does 4 damage. You need 5. Oh, we're going for a route. Alright, so we're trading one of our units for 1 ballista. I suppose that kind of makes sense. If you're able to hold the ballista advantage here, that will work out for you in the long term. Are we going to be sacrificing more Slingers here? You could. You have the training to do so. Doing another Blajj warrior out here. Okay, so these archers that are coming out here are actually going to have to get hit 5 times to die. Especially if we're doing all the damage to these ballista. The ballista will do 8, but they would still have to get surrounded. And it's going to take a lot of orders to kill. And it's going to put the units in not an advantageous situation. So this is actually very, very nice strategy coming out here. Using the resources that they have, moving forward. So, okay, not using the city to tank, not necessarily my own particular strategy, but I can't argue with it. I still think, chopping all this down, keeping these woods here, letting them come in, letting your onagers do some of the heavy lifting here might be even better, especially if they get into these urban tiles. All of these onagers are going to do extra damage to these urban tiles if you were to chop all of this out, and they would then have them denied all of these woods as well. But I can't argue with the results. We will likely lose this horseman to 3 attacks. Likely lose these slingers to a couple of attacks. So the question becomes, is a horseman and a potential general and 2 slingers worth 2 ballista? And the answer is maybe. It's definitely going to be pretty close. The best thing that they have to break through your line here is by chunking out your existing archers with the ballista. All these other units are going to have a hard time hacking in, going up against these ranged. This military is not designed to win a ranged versus ranged fight if these ballistas all go down. Even the horses up against these level 6 units are not doing more than 5 damage, so it's going to take 4 attacks on any one of these units to actually bring them down. We are chopping now. So just the one chop is enough to deter it. It does give it an opportunity to grow back, but it is more order resistant. So I'd love to see maybe a couple more chops coming down here. These workers are going to be thrown away, so we are making some economic sacrifice. Would have liked to see this been done, as we've been mentioning earlier on in the game, but I suppose it's better late than never. Would like to see some more forts being built. This urban tile is fine. I'd like to see these guys come out and get fortified. Love to see more of the ballistas coming to the front. But I suppose right now all we're doing is we're sacrificing all of this to buy time for the ballista to get to the front. It's going to take 3 years for them really to be able to join. Well, more for some of these guys in the back here. Probably 5 turns for this guy to get to the front lines. Unless you're going to be force marching him turn over turn, which is going to be a huge chunk out of your current training stockpiles. But yeah, you got to focus primarily on getting these ballistas to the front. Ballistas are going to do a pretty good job of shredding through this front line. And if you're able to come in and alpha strike down 2 of these higher ranked crossbows, that's going to go a really long way for you. So let's see. This one ballista is doing to this veteran guy 8 damage, 11 damage to this guy. They're going to shoot through for a whole bunch. Yeah, I mean, some good opportunities here. You know, come in, alpha strike with 4, put spears in front, put archers behind, make them pay for it if they want to try to charge the horsemen in and do damage. Even the horseman itself is only going to be doing about half damage, 8 damage to an open, 10 damage. So you're going to have to get, you know, some plinks over. So maybe you want to focus on the Cimmerian archers, actually. Yeah. Crossbows are going to be strong. Very powerful upgrade here, but obviously the wrong unit mix to be going into the massive ranged forces that Kush has. So it is raw power against potential military mix here. It's kind of the battle that we're going against. And neither player necessarily has the upper hand. We have the bodies to certainly defend over here on Kush. All the benefits for war typically go to the defender. They have the city to tank. They have closer supply lines. They have the bonuses of fighting within their own territory. So if you don't have momentum, if you don't have the proper military mix, if you don't have superior numbers, it's not the right time to push out. And on top of all of that, Kush has more orders. So this is by no means, while this is a very powerful military, this is by no means over as far as a fight is concerned. We were able to kill a crossbow and 2 ballistas. Very nice opening attack here from the Kush player. Very promising. And if all you lose for that is a horse, 2 slingers, and 2 workers, that's actually a pretty good mix. I will take that trade all day. All right. We did move all of our existing ballista. Curious about what else Kush is going to be developing in these next 2 cities. Let's take a peek over what Babylon's thinking now. All right, back to the Babylonian player. 59 orders on the board. Initially coming out with the onagers. I like that. Start strong from the back line. Use your strength where you have it. We'd like to see this other onager come out and probably join the fight somewhere. Start the creep. Spears coming out, used exactly as they should be. If you see a mounted unit out here, great to get the damage. These are your weaker units, so you definitely want to be utilizing them to the best of their ability. Let's see if we use a Cimmerian archer to shoot here and kill with rounding errors. Nope, we're going for a route instead. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see some more chip damage coming out of a Cimmerian archer, I think. Further route carrying on in. Yeah, here comes the further route. So we're just taking easy shots, moving our crossbow front line melee up. Obviously they're ranged units, but melee ranged. Let's see how much damage we're doing here. So we're going to, yep, nice crit here. That's got to be nice to feel. Don't always get lucky on that, but very nice. 4% chance of crit. Lucky, lucky. So we're going to get a right route here. And now we're only doing 4 damage. So you're not going to have access unless you're willing to risk another ballista here to get in on this unit. It's Sumerian Archer and Ballista are necessary to continue the route here, but one Blajj Archer is going to go down, but that does put your Ballista here in harm's way. We're trying to find other ways to continue the route without risking the Ballista, but again, this is why the Ballista is here. The Ballista is here to kill the Blajjs. So let's get a route now coming on through. Yeah, would have liked to see a shot here through, hitting 2 ballistas here. Able to then form, you know, if you get this kill, put a spear out here in front. You got plenty of other units to protect it. Killing these crossbows is going to be hard. So we have been able to get 4 additional kills right now. Blajj Archer hurts, but Slinger Horseman is certainly worth it for the kills that we got over on the other forces. 2 Slingers still makes it worth it, although we are still able to escape with these units as of right now. That is only 30 of our orders. We have another half of our turn coming through. We are not done yet. We have another 5 damage coming over on this unit, but we are pretty much all out of our Sumerian Archers. We have Akkadians that we're able to bring over to the front, but they're doing barely any plinks at this point. A little chip damage here and there. Would love to see, again, this Ballista come in for some huge damage. Right here would have softened up this Bat guy too. Maybe potentially even enabled another route coming on in. But we have this Onager, which should come to the front line probably here. Move his crossbow up a little bit. Do some plinks. Move this guy up so he's able to actually help out on the next turn. We also have access to some of these elephants here that would actually be able to knock this into the open area to make it easier for attacks to go off. So you have options to chase these guys out of here, to deal damage even through the wood cover. So there are a lot of options available here to the Babylonian player to make a little bit more mincemeat here. But we're relying very heavily on our routing units. And I don't know if we have the range to plink this guy down. No Akkadian archers in the area. We've used all our other range. 17 orders left. The route is not going to be able to continue. Oh, we are going to force march in. We are going to plink this guy down 1 to be able to keep the route going. And I think this is where the route has to end. I don't think you are able to get any more damage in here. But my lord, exactly why I'm saying to sit behind the cities. It was nice to go over and get the first punch, but all your units were out here, open and available. They wouldn't be able to be routed if they were spears. It'd be harder for them to work in. Use your choke points where available. Everyone would then have to be... You would chop out all this area. They wouldn't have any of this cover. Any units up here on the front lines, the onagers would be able to do extra damage to inside of urban. Your units would have more damage here across the front lines. Yeah, just a lot more opportunities. So we'll see if Blajj is able to mount a defense after this huge blow to the forces. Worker, Blajj Archer, Slinger, Blajj Archer, Slinger, Horseman. It's pretty rough, and this Blajj is not going to be able to fight its way out. All 3 of these units would have to die for this Blajj Archer to get out of here. And while some of these onagers are able to reach, not all of them are. Another reason why you don't necessarily want to push out when you have an established onager line. Yeah, good tactics coming out of the Babylonian player. Definitely using his pieces well enough to be able to crack in on this first counterattack out here. Again, would have liked to see him dig in. Would have liked to see these Blajj Archers retreat back to this city, get upgraded, 4 turns ago to be 8 strength and swinging on back now. Losing units up here, but then being able to come out with a pretty solid counterattack. Just bleeding units out here to throw them onto the, as a meat shield to try to protect the city. And even if the city goes down, it's a weak city. Infrastructure is barely even built up in here. You don't really need it. So even if you had to fall back to 2 other cities, it's not a huge loss. So I would have just lost all my slingers, lost all my axemen, slowing these down while I'm upgrading my units, while I'm establishing a better onager line, some nice hills back here, some great hills up here for to be able to offer a solid defense, especially behind this river, reinforce around this area. Definitely some good options that were made available. But, you know, sometimes it's worth it to give up a city. Too busy ramping more science, sending a message with a slinger. Yep, I agree. The message was sent, although it seemed to be returned to sender. Okay. Earthquake came through. It's a nice little chunk of damage on some of these units, but it's more damage onto the Kushite player, which is brutal. A brutal act of God has betrayed the Kush Empire right in its hour of most dire need. This is not what you want to see. I mean, again, at least if you had backed up behind this line, it wouldn't have protected you from this earthquake, but at least it would have hit his units almost as much as it would have hit yours. That is a very rude earthquake. Absolutely brutal. Definitely going to be a hard one. Would love to see a nice retreat here. Would love to see him throw away some units that are less important. Retreat again with his nice units and maybe fall back to Hamadab. Honestly, you could probably even give up all 3 of these cities and find a new place to dig in just to buy yourself enough time to get these unit upgrades, because that's really what you need here. Medjai archers. Is it Blajj is the next upgraded unit? Yeah, Blajj. Yeah, that's a morale buster. Definitely a tough one. You know, we do have the game settings, I'm pretty sure, to very rare. Calamity's rare. So, will occur later in the game and less frequently, but they still happen. You can't plan around them, and just kind of crap you got to deal with, like political situations, random events, but that's the importance of making a very flexible empire. We have fixed our situation here. We have gotten the family away from the Kushite paganism. They flipped over to Judaism, which is the state religion, so very cool. That has fixed the potential issues here, and now they'll be getting at least plus 5% as opposed to a negative, so that's got to be nice overall for the military defense. But we have lost over on our Hunters family the friendly opinion that we used to have, which is too bad. They are Zoro, so they're getting plenty of influence from the Zoro, but... we are seeing the end of the game right here. Not a surrender, but a quick little tap out. With the earthquake coming on through, being tired, he doesn't want to bungle this potential shot. He has opportunities here. It's not over here for the Kush. He still has plenty of production availability to him. He's got plenty of civics to rush. He's got a decent enough economy to keep the military units coming out. He is clearly able to have a great technology game. I would throw away all my axes, all my spears, all my slingers, all my warriors in a bloody defense to just waste the Babylonian player's time, where I retreat my archers back, get them upgrade to level 6. I bring my onagers back. I dig in on a better city, pick one, and then I go ahead and I go for the final science to get up to Barding. And I hope that archers, onagers, ballista, and cataphracts are enough to break a force far away from home. But right now, dire situation for the Kush. Act of God even thrown against them. Definitely a tough number to be up against right here. He has orders to make all of these changes, to be this flexible. He has laws available to him to further push his overall military output, fix his economy immediately in one sweep. He has access to be able to get more civics if he wants to be able to rush out more in case he wants to take a dip into that overall order economy. And, you know, it really depends on what you need. So I'd like to see a lot of changes coming into his gameplay, coming into the next step. I do like seeing the councils here. You know, if you're unable to pay for the units, I would like to see you, boosting up your overall civics to be able to rush them out of a few cities, as opposed to being able to not be able to fully build them because you can't afford them out of a lot of cities. It's just an overall better strategy. But yeah, we'll see how the next game goes. I think we're going to save it here, guys. We'll definitely be able to take a peek over into the next one, but it's looking pretty damn good for Babylon. Very strong showing, very strong turns, 7 kills right there. Where Kush kind of put their hand into the tiger's mouth, and he was not afraid to chomp. Coming back to the Babylon side, we are not focusing on more military units. We have a huge economy. We have so much stone to sell. We should at least be building onagers. I would like to see like a few more onagers, but I'd love to see, more Sumerian archers, more horsemen, more ballista, A lot more units should be coming out here. So again, if Kush is able to hold on through bloody sacrifice, they are setting themselves up for a potential very strong counterpunch. This game is not over, and if Babylon doesn't, takes its eye off the prize, if it takes its foot off the gas, which it's doing here, it's leaving itself potentially open for the scientific difference to actually make a difference. Yeah, they're down to 1,000 difference now. So 10 turns from now, Babylon, Kush will officially have overtaken, less than 10 turns, 8 turns from now. Babylon will officially have lost its overall scientific investment lead to the Kush, and that'll only get worse for him from there. Before that, I mean, after Cataphracts come online, you can better believe that Polybolos will be the next thing online. So there's a lot of scary options potentially coming out of this Kush player if this game goes on longer, but it's all whether or not he can bail himself out. Hope to see it. Love this game. Love this particular match. Been a lot of fun to watch. Thanks to the players for letting me come in and commentate. Thanks to the Mohawk support staff. Thanks to Alcaraz and Cyan doing so much work on keeping the wheels on this tournament going. And I will see you guys in the next one.